Hello, this is Tiefa system that's going to Nigeria. The water is going to be coming in from a borehole tank under pressure, going into what's labeled as filter A. Now, we are going to be supplying some gray tubing that fits onto here with hose clamps. So all I got to do is run a water line over the wall and into here. From here is the output side of this filter. This will connect into the input side of the carbon filter. From the carbon filter, it's going to end up going over to the reverse osmosis system. Now, on the back side of these filters, you've got your waste line for backwashing the garbage out of the water. To wash the garbage out, you first put this thing all the way over here, and you want to run water through this for about 10 minutes. Then you're going to want to put it over here where it says fast rinse and run it again for about 10 minutes to flush it out real well. When you're done, you move it back over into the filter position. Both of these filters should be backwashed every few days, and both should be backwashed anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes per cycle. Now, after the water leaves the filter here, it's going to go into an electronic, at the point of electronic valve on the RO system. This electronic valve, so in other words, you would hook a connection up here. We're also going to be providing some 90-degree connections, so you can actually come up over the top into that filter. Now, this is a 5-micron pre-filter. Here's the filter. They're very simple. You put them in, there's a little tab at the bottom of the filter. You put it on. Just make sure you get it so the O-ring's sitting properly. And you just screw this thing on. When you're putting it on, you only want to go hand height. But we provide a wrench for when you do take it off. So that's the water coming into the RO. Now, you also have a float switch, which controls the level of water in the tank. How this works is when it's in the down position like this, it will turn the system on. When it goes up like this, it shuts off, and the system shuts off when the tank is full. So this part you're going to want to have on the top of the tank. Now, you can see this screws off, this piece comes off. You drill a hole in the tank goes there, tighten this thing down, so it's just on, off. You've got the cord right here, which will be connected to it when you receive it. It comes in through the hole, and then simply wire nut it together, and there's a cover that goes on here. Now, on the back of the system here, you've got 2 connections, and they're both marked. One in your reject water, which just says to drain, and then the other one is the pure water to the tank. So that you want to run a piece of tubing up into your pure water tank. Now, you've got a chemical injection system on here, which is hooked up on this part of it. Now, we have the bag of parts right here. There's instructions on how it goes together. This bottom part here would go into a tank similar to this one here. You would put your mixed chemical in there. You need to contact us on how to mix the chemicals and set up the pump on here. But you have the white tubing here, which would go in the tank. It's got a weight. It's got a screen on it to go in the tank. And you got a bleeder here. This would go back into the tank, so you open this up, and it helps prime the pump and bleed everything through. Now let's go around to the front of the system and explain how it works. The system electrical on this is 208 to 240 volt, single phase, 220. Now, you've got a power cord that's coming off the bottom of the system, or the bottom of the electrical box here. It's right here, and that's where you would wire it in. and that would be a 20 amp circuit. Now once you get all the water hooked up, you get these filters backwashed, then it's time to start the system up. To start the system up, you get the power onto this, which would be through a circuit breaker. Then what you would do is make sure these valves are open. That's closed all the way. This is open. Open them up 1.5, 2 turns. Same thing here. You will turn this power switch on and this light will come on. For a minute, this will flicker for low pressure until the pressure builds up in the system. Now, you'll hear water running for about 3 minutes before the pump on here starts. And you'll see these gauges go up and down, back and forth. These will go up and down until it gets all the air out of the system and everything will stabilize. Now, once the pump starts, what you want to do is to get these 2 floats to be at the same level. They should be producing around 4 to 5 gallons per minute after you start it up. And to get these things balanced the same, you control that with your waste valve. Now, if you want to take the waste down, and this will go up too at the same time, to get it balanced, you close the waste valve until these are both at the same point. Now at that point, what you want to do is increase your system pressure, and that is done with the recycle valve. The recycle valve, you're going to close this and you'll watch this gauge, it'll slowly go up, and once you get to about 150, 160 PSI, which is the red numbers on the outside on this gauge, it's going to be running correctly. So that's how you start the system up. Then, like I mentioned before, at that point, you're going to need to get this going after we know what these settings are. These settings are critical for setting up this and for the mixture of chemical that would go into the tank. That's basically all you need to know on how to get this going. Now, for the sachet filling machines though, that water's going to be in the tank and you're going to gravity feed over to the sachet machines and you'll be getting a manual with those machines. That's it.